Hi, I'm going to be giving a review of Sultan. And let me just go ahead and say this. It's not going to be the best review. So, if you're a Salman Khan fan who cannot handle me talking more about the movie than really about him, this ain't for you. I'm sorry. Like, if you just feel like you're just going to end up saying, shut up, be in the comments, just go ahead and move on. Go ahead and move on. I'm sorry. Oh, yes, and this review is going to be spoiler-free. Like I like to do, I'm going to talk about different aspects of the film. I'm going to give you my experience, and then I'm going to give you my rating. So let's go ahead and get to it. The story is about a wrestler named Sultan, and not only about his life in the ring, but his life outside of the ring. Because as they said in the movie, life is a fight. And so we're seeing if he can win in the ring, but also win in life. In terms of the acting, I thought Anushka Sharma did a good job. She did a good job. I think if I liked the movie better, I would have praised the acting a bit more. In terms of Salman Khan, again, I thought he did a good job. I feel bad of saying he did a good job because I feel like I should be saying he did a great job. He did a fantastic job. I thought he was going to bring something new, but to be honest, I think just because the movie is different, that's why people want to say he brought something new. I just thought Salman Khan did a good job. He did. But I wasn't really moved by his performance. Everyone else in the movie, I thought also did a good job. The two people I actually liked the most was Randy Puder. I thought he did a great job when he came in for his little bit. Randy Puder is just... Anyway, he did a good job. He did a great job. And then also like the guy who sold pot boilers, the overweight guy, the fat guy who sold pressure cookers. I thought he did a good job with his role. He seemed very natural, but yet he was fun and lighthearted, and I liked him as well. So moving on to the romance. This movie, the romance is very important. The first half of the movie is really romance. And then the second half, the things he is doing is in regards to love, really. And so you have to believe in this love story. I just don't think Anushka Sharma and Salman Khan were the best pair. I can't really hate on it and say it was awful. But, again, I didn't really care for the love story. And I love a love story. But it's just more like I had to go along with it rather than me, oh yes, really feeling it and really caring for them being together. Or it's just like, okay, Tamara, just go ahead and believe it. Just go ahead and that's what it said. Just, it is what it is. That's more what it was. So I didn't, no. I wouldn't put them together in another movie. You know, so it's not people's fault sometimes. Sometimes you can have good chemistry, and you can have good chemistry, but just sometimes it doesn't look right together. Also, can I just say, the biggest romance to me in this movie was Salman Khan and his best friend. What was with his best friend? Because that speech that Anushka Sharma gave Salman Khan in the first half, which pushed him into wrestling, that's the speech he needed to give the best friend, or Salman Khan needed to give the best friend. Because why is it that best friend is following Salman Khan around, driving him around? Like, this man ain't got no job. This man ain't got no purpose in his life. Like, I don't understand why he is outside the ring when Salman Khan is fighting. That makes no sense to me. And so, there's a part in the movie when Salman Khan is getting on a bus and he calls out his name. He might have said one thing. I can't remember. But I thought he was going to say, I love you. But he was like, Sultan, crush him. Crush him. I was like, okay, that's not what you wanted to say. But okay, it's just that they were too close. I didn't understand that friendship, especially his best friend. That was a bigger romance to me than Anushka Sharma and Salman Khan. The action, the wrestling in this movie. In the first couple of fights, I tell you this, I had two problems overall. It just felt like when Salman Khan would get somebody in a hold, it's not even he would get him in a hold. It's like the other wrestler would help Salman Khan set up. It'd be like Salman Khan would do this, and the other guy would do this. And then he would let Salman Khan just do whatever move he wanted to do. I'm wondering, why doesn't the guy just do this? Like he's trying to get out the hole. Do some of this. I didn't get it. So I wasn't sure that maybe if someone has you in a hold, you're just supposed to go through with it because you really just want to fall good. You just want to make sure you fall well so that you can get back up again. Rather than if you struggle, you might end up falling worse than if you hadn't struggled. But it was a lot of Salman Khan would hold them and they would do this. like Salman Khan would hold it and they would just do this and let Salman Khan do it. They would do this and let Salman Khan do whatever he wanted to do. They would do this and just let Salman Khan do whatever he wanted to do. Like, I just wish it was more of like a struggle. That's my first problem. And then my second problem was this. When Salman Khan, overall, I won't say this for everything. When Salman Khan would get hit, it was like this. Ugh. When he would fall down, he would get up right away. But when another wrestler, when Salman Khan would do this, he would, like, it was just way too much. When, like he would have to fall out. And then it took them forever to get back up, if they got back up. And so I just thought it's like, for Salman Khan, Sultan, to be someone who was new to wrestling, and for people who have been wrestlers, for people who have the same amount of strength, maybe even a bit more strength and technique than he does, I just wish it felt like everyone was more equal, rather than seeming like Salman Khan was the hero, like he was the main guy. And so I wanted to look more like this, rather than this. Like, it felt more like this. That's what it felt like. Or sometimes it was just this. It was flat out just that. And so I didn't really believe the fights in terms of that aspect. And things kind of changed for me within the last two fights. The first fight in which he fought against Tyson, the black guy with the beard, yeah, that's when things changed. It felt more like really like a tussle, like a struggle. It felt more like this. And so I enjoyed that more. I still think you know who's going to win, but that's not the point of a movie. You know what's going to happen at the end. Overall, you know what's going to happen at the end. You just want to make it exciting as you watch it. And for me, the fight scenes for me were not that excited. And even so, by the time they got to the last two fights, the really good fights to me, it was just like I was over wrestling. I didn't care. I didn't want it. The songs. The soundtrack. This was my favorite thing about the movie. Yay! I loved all the songs. When a song came on, that's the time I was just smiling the most. I was like, yeah, I like it. Even the opening song, I really want to look up those lyrics again, because some of those lyrics felt a little weird. When it first came on, it was slower. I was reading the lyrics, okay. And then the beat came out, like, okay. As the opening credits were showing, I was just basically doing this. I enjoyed it. They played Baby Kobash Pasan here, which I really loved. They played a slow song. It played in the first half and the second half, and I liked the slow song as well. Even that 440 song, which I told you I would enjoy in the movie. Vote 440, is that the name of it? I'm trying to remember. I actually did enjoy it inside of the movie. I thought it looked really cool. I liked it. I liked Anushka's outfits. I liked the song. I enjoyed hearing the song more than I the first time I heard it. I really did. And it was really like a pepper. It was really a pepper for me. And then we got back into the movie, and I was just more like this. And then I enjoyed Django Jumea. That was probably my favorite thing, sadly. The last two fights were good, I give you that, but that was my favorite thing I personally enjoyed in the second half. The only thing about the songs is, if you don't like songs, if you just put up with songs, then this movie had too many songs. It really did. Even the theme song, the SULTAN, that song, they played it a lot. And so it went from me going SULTAN to me going SULTAN. Like it really played just too much. In the second to last fight, I believe Sultan, Salman Khan, hits his fit. It's like he's getting up. I said, please don't play it. Please don't play it. And here it comes. They're playing it. I was like, oh, I am so over that song right now. It is done. And then they played it one last time. I'll tell you later on what happened during that part. It's going to go on in my experience. They played that song to death. Really, I was already having its funeral. I was over it. It sounded good the first time, but why did you play it so much? I don't know. And then in terms of the writing, it was good and bad. I laughed maybe 2-3 times, and that's maybe like that's all I did. 2-3 times. I mean, and then even his hard-hitting, powerful lines, I said this in Uttar Punjab. This movie is trying to teach you a lesson. This movie is being sentimental. It is. This movie is being sentimental, but I felt it was more pandering, and it was trying to buy my emotions rather than just allowing me to be and allow me to feel it. Yes, life is a fight. You must tackle it. Sometimes we fight ourselves. That's like, yeah, I hear you. But you can even say the line's a cliche. But then also you could say the lines are good because they're uplifting, they're motivational and stuff like that. But I just found it to be like, I didn't buy it. You were trying to sell me with them like quotes out of a calendar. Now I shall go into my experience. Like I said, it wasn't going to be all that good. I thought it wasn't all that good. That's just my opinion, whether right or wrong. It's just what I thought. I give it a critical review. This is not what the general public would think of this movie. This is what I thought of the movie. In the first half is more focused on a love story. It's not about wrestling. It's about love. And I already told you I didn't really care for the love story. Now, normally I turn off my phone when watching a movie because when your phone is on, you have a tendency you want to check it, even though you have nothing to check. And so I turn it off. And I usually turn on an intermission to see what time it is. But when that movie was playing, I'll be honest with you, I turned my phone on during the first half because I wanted to see what time it was. And I went to see this movie at 12, and when I checked my phone, it was 1:10. Like, it felt long. It felt like intermission ain't here yet. I didn't know how long this running time was either, I tell you that. And by the time interval came, I was really hoping it was saying the end, but it wasn't. It was intermission, and then it would come back with the second half. I went to see a noon showing, and I was already tired by the time intermission came that I wanted to close my eyes. We're going into the second half. And like I said, the first half I enjoyed the songs. The second half, I enjoyed the songs, but the pick-me-up for me was also seeing Randy Puda. Randy Puda is a good actor, y'all. And I appreciated his cameo in the movie. It was really a cameo. I thought he was really going to be in the movie, but he really wasn't. And then, when he was saying to Salman he won't be outside the ring, he's on his own, but he'll be cheering for him. Even I was like, Wendy, don't go, please. Don't go, I need you. Like, I need you to make it through this movie, please. No. But he left me. But even so, they would show shots of him later on in the fights and stuff. I'm continuing to watch this movie. And I don't care, y'all. I don't care. Even with the fight scenes, I don't care. And let me also state this. I know I'm not a sports person. I know I'm not a wrestling person. But Mary Kom, 5 out of 5. I love that movie. Though that's more boxing. I know this. Brothers, 4 out of 5. I actually love that movie. And I enjoyed all the fights. I watched this on my computer, and let me tell you, when I'm not enjoying like fights and stuff, I will fast forward. I did not fast forward any fight in that movie. Even Salah Kadous, which is also again boxing. I actually enjoyed Salah Kadous. It's not my favorite. I think I give it 3 out of 5 in the end. It could have been better for me. But overall, I really enjoyed it. And one of the things I really loved about Salah Kadous is the writing. The writing to me was really good. So you know what I mean? I can appreciate the movie if it's good. This movie to me wasn't that good. And I was stuck watching every bit of it. I don't care for the drama. Even with the drama of what happens, I have more questions and faults, and this is where it's going to get into spoilers, which I really can't go into it. But when that happened, stop it now. The overall problem with this movie, it was just too long. When I got into Bollywood movies, one of the things you have to take with it is that they were long. Some of my favorite movies are long. So even if a movie is long, it can still be good. It can still just keep you entertained throughout. This movie just felt long for no goddamn reason. Even with Randy Puda, with them showing him in a car, and then showing him at the gym, listening to the radio and stuff, I'm like, we don't need to do that. We should have just cut him out. When he said bye, we should have said bye to him as well. The love story was too long. And even this, I didn't even care for, even so, the whole point of this movie is, a guy is trying to make this sport popular in India. This type of wrestling. And he has 6 months to do it. And by the end of that movie, you do not care. It's like it's even forgotten. Why even include that? Why not just make it about Sultan? Just do that. Just make it about that. I was struggling to watch this movie, y'all. I was struggling to make it all the way through. That the last fight, when he came out and that Sultan music started playing, I just went like this. I really did. I was done. I wasn't crying, but it's just like I need to release some of this pain. It was just too much. Oh, it was just too much. It was just too much. I left with a headache, and not because the sound was too loud, or not because I was crying because the movie was so good. It was just I was crying because this movie was painful for me to sit all the way through. I'm sorry. I went for a noon showing. When I left, I got home at 3:30. I felt like I came home at 9. Like I was so tired. Actually, when I got home, I went to sleep. I took a nap. That headache was strong, and that movie made me so worn out. I was super tired after watching that movie at a noon showing. The first half, when he was running against the train, I said out loud, I said 3 out of 5. This movie's a 3 out of 5. It could go up, but it also could go down. And that movie went down. It went down to a 2 out of 5. And really, if I think about it hard enough, it really could be a 1 at sometimes. But I'm going to say a 2 out of 5. The movie does have a story, good directing. The lines aren't bad. They're just not that great. The acting overall is good. Like I said before, you can't really fault it too much, but I can't praise that movie. I can't. I feel like if the person had taken the script and tightened it up, made some better writing, took out some of the rocky parts, if this was a couple in which worked better for me, because when you just fall in love with the couple, you just fall in love with the love story regardless of its fault. Then I think I would have liked the movie a lot better. I could at least say it's a 3 out of 5, but I can't. So feel free to leave what you thought about the movie in the comments. If you loved it, state why you loved it. If you didn't, you can also state why you didn't love the movie. But let's be respectful. You don't have to go to name calling just because I didn't like this movie. I'll be honest, I was afraid to do this review. I really was, because I knew I didn't have many positive things to say about it. If you love the movie, I'm not bothered by that. That's great. Just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean you have to go to an ugly place. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So thank you very much, and bye.